Hey guys, Drew here from the Guitar Brothers Company, and today we're here with a bit of a different video, a bit of a meme. I've been seeing these tier lists all over YouTube, and so I figured I would do one of my own. I did check out these to see if anyone had done one already, and I didn't find anything. I did find a definitive list of online guitar classes, which I believe ranked Justin Guitar as the highest, the S tier, the winner, and we thought that was all right.
Yeah, as far as Justin Guitar goes, as long as it wasn't Andy Guitar, that's what we thought originally.
Yeah. It had Carlos Santana's masterclass surprisingly far down the list, so that was interesting. I guess it was just not laid out very well, even though it had, Carlos Santana making a bunch of weird faces.
I guess so.
But yeah, we figured we would, or I figured it would be appropriate and timely to do a tier list for guitar picks. I'm not really sure exactly how this works because I know it goes A through F like letter grades in school, but up here at the top there's an S, which I don't think I ever had on my report card. Maybe it's because I sucked.
Superb.
Superb.
That's what it stands for.
Doesn't stand for.
Superfrickalicious.
Did you just say Super DJ Calidocious?
I have no idea.
All right. So all right. I like to be positive normally, but rather than starting at S tier and getting slowly more depressing, I figured I'd start by putting a couple things in F tier.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember, life follows the slowly more depressing model.
Right.
But this is escapism. This is YouTube. This is where we come to waste time and not think about, the slow decline into madness. So, speaking of a slow decline into madness, I'm gonna start out here. This is probably the first pick I have to put in the F tier. It has a turtle on it, but it doesn't feel like Dunlop's Tortex material. It's only 0.46 millimeters thick, which is basically nothing. It's like a fly's wing.
Yeah, pretty much.
When I started off playing the guitar, I really liked these because you could really go at it and it wouldn't be too loud. You could still hear yourself over it, and it just wouldn't wake the neighbors and sound like you're killing your guitar painfully, which was nice. And if you're a beginner, you might want to start off on something like this. But as I got farther along in my playing, then I just kind of became dissatisfied with the way that it sounded. It doesn't sound very good. It sounds very thin and plasticky, and you can't really get the tone out of your strings that you're gonna want. Like when you play your acoustic guitar, you want to hear the body resonating, and this really just doesn't do that.
Agreed.
It's a pretty thin, stringy sound you get. Yeah, I think that's it on that one. Sadly for me, another pick I have to put in the F tier is the bread tab. It's not thin like the others, but it is rather inconvenient. It was nice the first time I used it, which was the only time I used it. Because I needed a pick, so I just kind of ground off the corner of this into a pick. And it's fine as long as you hold both sides of the clasp mechanism, I guess. But if you slip and you only get one side, then these get hooked on your strings and it just stays there. Which also happened. So I guess it wasn't great the first time I used it. There was a lot of hookups.
It was a good idea.
I guess it's best if used by June 15th of some number of years ago, so that might have something to do with the problem.
Yeah. What did you say it was kosher bread?
It is kosher bread, yeah.
Kosher bread.
I don't know if you can see that, but
Whatever the heck that means.
Safe for Jewish people to play with.
Alright.
Yep.
Yep, don't flag us, please.
What? No, man, we're Jewish. We're fine.
Okay, cool.
I think that's how it works.
I think so.
Next up, in E tier, since I can't say there's anything wrong with this, is Christian's fresh
student ID.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fine pick. You can play with it. It's got thickness. It reacts well, I guess.
It's a fair bit large.
It is a little big. If you have small hands, I wouldn't recommend it. If you have big hands, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you need something,
yeah, there you go.
It's something. It's something else. But it's really nice to look at. So maybe use it as a display piece more than a guitar pick.
Yeah, look at that beautiful face.
Mm-hmm. Next up is the D tier, which is where we put things that you don't necessarily want to use all the time, but are still okay. Right? That's what D stands
Pretty
for.
much, yeah.
For don't trip. But
Means you haven't flunked out yet, but you're on the edge.
yeah, yep, I think
You
so.
could be you're passing, but you're really close to like just failing.
Yeah, exactly. Which is where this Dava pick comes in. I will admit I got this when it was already kind of worn down a little bit, but even the little bit of pick that's left, the material is just so soft. It doesn't sound good on your guitar strings. It sounds like you're slapping your guitar with Play-Doh. Which, I mean, that's a little harsh, but it's
that's true.
all right. Yeah, the sound is far from harsh. It's the opposite of that.
Yeah.
It's great for playing the bass. So if you want a bass pick, you can pick one of these up.
Yeah, it's actually really good for playing the bass.
It's not, too loud, but it's nice and thumpy. Which the interesting thing is we had thought originally that the best guitar player actually I know, Cody, was playing with these, which made me even more impressed at his guitar playing.
Yeah, and we determined that he was playing the bass with those.
Yeah, which makes a lot more sense because that's what I use it for now.
Maybe it's a bass pick. Maybe it's not a guitar pick.
It could be a
I don't know.
bass
We
pick.
might be idiots.
Hey, that's why we're in D tier.
Exactly. That's why we're in D tier.
For dumb.
We used it as a guitar pick, but we didn't say we liked it. How about that?
Yeah, I didn't say it was a good guitar pick. I just said I thought it was a guitar pick.
What's the brand name again?
Dava.
Dava.
Oh, we're gonna check it out right now. We're fact checking.
Yeah, you keep talking and I'll figure this out.
All right. I think that's all for the D tier. I might come back to it if I find I need to. But for now, I'm gonna move up to the C tier, which is where I'm gonna place this Fender Thin. I like the celluloid picks pretty well. They have a really nice tone, I find, but just the Thin is, I don't know, it's a little weak. You can't. It's like kind of like this pink Tortex. It's just a little too thin to get necessarily the tone I like out of the guitar. Like you can pluck individual notes with it and it's gonna come out soft, but it's not gonna resonate as well as if you used a thicker pick. Which is the only reason it's down here. There's nothing wrong with C tier. It's like, completely fine. It's no, what starts with C?
C?
Yeah. It's, I wouldn't say it's commanding. I wouldn't say it's, I don't know. It's fine. Fine starts with a C now.
Okay, here's your answer for the Dava picks.
Oh, the Dava picks?
They are guitar picks.
They are guitar
They just
picks.
kind of suck.
Yeah. They're just dumb picks.
Yeah.
Use them for bass, alright? Don't listen to the company.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I mean, I think the idea was that you'd have a grippy, surface to hold on to, and then the edge was a pick, but, if you're, especially for acoustic guitar, it's, one, very sharp, so it probably scratches the crap out of it, and second of all, it just, I don't know, the rubber gets in the way of the strings and screws you up, yeah.
But even the plastic end itself is kind of doughy.
Yeah.
It's just too soft. Speaking of too soft, the next thing for C tier is going to be this Dunlop Max Grips. This is a 0.6 millimeters. I know. Oops. They make thicker ones. They make thinner ones. But this is the one I play. This is, I think, fairly standard. And I like this pick. I'll use it when I'm strumming, a fast song. Like Need to Breathe, Mumford & Sons comes to mind. The Ren Collective.
Folk and that kind of thing.
Yeah. But I don't like it for normal acoustic playing, just because I find it too thin. And this is where Christian and I actually kind of disagree some. Like, he doesn't like these pink dudes either. And in fact, we used to have a white pick that I think was grippy like this one. But it was thinner than this. It was like practically a piece of paper. Maybe a piece of paper that's been sitting out in the sun for a bit, but not long. It was probably the thinnest thing I've ever had. But no, Christian tends to like the thinner picks usually.
Yeah, I play a lot of acoustic guitar. I do a lot of strumming in that way. Well, I shouldn't say I do play a lot of acoustic guitar, but I do a lot of strumming on the acoustic guitar, and thin picks just tend to be really good for that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep. Drew does a little bit less strumming on the acoustic guitar. He does a lot more kind of finger picking and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, usually when I'm strumming, I don't end up using a pick unless I'm recording something and I want that nice sound.
Right.
But yeah. Um, the third pick that's gonna go in the C tier, I think, is the Guitar Center pick.
If you
Fine,
don't
C
have
is
one
for
of these,
center.
you
It's in the
don't
center
play
of the
guitar.
list. Yeah, no, every guitar player has at least one of these. I think I have I have two here on the desk, and then one's over on my headboard. Christian has some. My mom has some. Everyone has them.
Everyone has at least one.
Every time you go to a Guitar Center, you walk out with a Guitar Center pick.
Right.
Um,
That's why those have different phone numbers on them.
yeah. Because, well, from two different Guitar Centers, unless the one just changed his number. Which is a bad idea. Guitar Center, people don't throw these away. They just steal them.
I don't think that I would ever go to a pick though and be like, "Hey, do you have Guitar Center's number? Yeah, let me grab my pick and I'll tell you."
Hey, it's just...
I mean, half the
Maybe.
time they get worn off there anyway. It's like a
True.
like a gloss finish.
True. And speaking of the gloss finish, that's the reason why this is down here. It's
Yeah, it's slippery.
it is a weird gauge where the plastic is just a little too hard to strum nicely and a little too slippery, but it's also at the same time too thin to be an electric pick.
Yeah, no, here's my complaint with the Guitar Center picks, like even more so than any finish or any flaw like that, is that it's too thick to play on the acoustic guitar well, and it's too thin to play on the electric guitar well. So I don't even know why. Just maybe they designed them so people wouldn't take them. And they're like, we'll take them anyway. even
They're
though
like,
they
oh, let's
suck."
make the picks suck. But then nobody would buy the guitars.
Right.
I think they're just trying to split the difference between the acoustic and the electric, really.
Probably, and it didn't work very well.
No, they should. Guitar Center, if you're watching this, make nice electric picks for your electric
Lean
area.
in one direction or the other. Make two different kinds of picks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But lean, at least, if you're going to make one type, lean in one direction or the other, because right now it just sucks for both.
Yeah, it's a compromise. Nobody's happy with a good compromise.
That's true.
But I think that about wraps it up for C tier. Let's move on to B tier. The first thing I want to put in B tier is this Taylor, which is essentially just a Tortex. It's a Dunlop Tortex, but it is the one that Taylor gives out at NAMM to play their guitars with. It's a nice pick. It's a good gauge for acoustic, I think. I like the Tortex, finish for tone. It's all right. It's not quite as rich, I don't think, as the celluloid tone, but it is a little brighter usually.
A little bit.
I think. Okay, yeah. I think we actually have a green Tortex over here.
Do.
That it's essentially the same thing when you
Yep.
compare it.
Pretty much. They had a bowl of those at the Taylor booth, so I just grabbed a handful.
Yeah. Oh yeah. NAMM for my brother and my mom. They went with Cody, and they came home with a lot of picks. Let's just say
Capitalize
that.
on however many picks he can take. We'll get to the real find in a minute.
Yeah. No, tell the story about Cody and the guy who kept putting the picks on the table.
Oh yeah, no, like what booth was that? I'm trying to remember now. It's the Strymon booth.
The
We
Strymon
would go to the
booth.
Strymon
Yeah,
booth.
yeah.
Let me see if I have a Strymon pick I can show you while we're talking about this too.
I don't think I have any over
I
here.
have one.
Nice.
It's in my wallet. But at the Strymon booth, they always put out picks, and at least downstairs, which is where all the Chinese crap is and all that, they have this is the first booth that hands you a pick. It's Strymon.
Oh, these are
So
nice.
by all the pedals where the guitars are and stuff, the guy will just throw a handful of picks out, and every time he threw out a handful of picks, Cody would just slam his hand down and grab all 10 of the picks. I mean, I think dude had probably 45 picks by the end of the thing, but I mean, yeah.
That's
Strymon
fun.
picks are all right. I mean, honestly, I think the Taylor one's better, but
Yeah. I'd put the Strymon at about the same level as this guy, which we'll get to in a second.
I'd put it the Guitar Center one. It's the same problem that I have with the Guitar Center picks, but it's bigger and it's a satin finish, so it's a little better.
Yeah, because it's not as slippery and plasticky.
Right.
So yeah, that's the story about NAMM and handfuls of picks. We'll get to the real NAMM find in a minute though. Yeah. Let's see what else goes here in B tier. Oh yeah. Some of you Brits and Brian May fans, people who like Queen, are gonna hate me for this, but I'm gonna put the old Queen the good old 5 pence right here in the B tier. I understand that Brian May is the king of tone, but I don't like playing with coins.
He's the king of a certain kind of tone.
Yeah, it's very unique.
Agreed. And I mean, if you play with a coin, how can you not be unique? I think
True.
the idea behind playing with that is that it's first of all, it's super thick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's getting you a very bitey tone, and then the side is like
The side, it has
side
teeth.
is not smooth. Yeah, it has teeth. It's so you can kind of get that
Yeah.
kind of sound when you're digging into the strings a little bit. Like, yeah.
Like he has a really sharp, a really raspy attack, and he has some really good sustain to go with it.
Right, and I think the idea that when he started using the coin was that there was no pick that was like a max grip or something, or a jazz pick, which we'll get to in a minute, that has that the grippy edge to do that thing.
Oh yeah.
So he was like, "Oh man, what can I like?" I think he was just playing with the coin just for the heck of it, and then discovered he could do that, and was like, "Oh!" And he never changed, in 30 years, which makes sense.
Well, he's not a big change guy. He figures out what works and he sticks with it.
Yeah, I mean, freaking 18 red specials, like one guitar,
If he can't have the red special, he'll play another red special.
Right.
Which there's something to be said there.
Watch his rig rundown. He's like, this is my red special. This is my red special copy. This is my other red special copy. Like it's.
Here's a hollow body red special. I don't like this one as much. I like the original better.
Exactly.
Yeah. But let's see what else goes here in B tier. Oh, these are an ancient pick, and when I say ancient, I mean only like 12 years, but that's really old. Because I didn't play guitar 12 years ago. I didn't play the guitar till like maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah.
4 maybe. I'm not sure. But these picks we got back in, I want to say 2007, 8, one of those years when we lived in Tucson at the time, and my mom had gotten my brother a first act electric guitar, 3/4 size, and none of us learned how to play it ever. I think I learned how to play the Spanish tune from if you have those Hal Leonard band books. I was in band at the time, and my mom has been a music teacher.
Oh, dude.
So she just grabbed one of those for guitar.
We have those guitar books. They really suck, but we have them.
Yeah, we do.
And yeah, no, I was trying to learn out of that when I was younger. Obviously, it didn't make any sense. But I remember that first act acoustic guitar came with this giant pick.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like I was 5.
Oh
so
man, we should have grabbed that one for
couldn't
this
even fit
video.
in we totally should have. I don't even know if we still have it though.
I think it's over somewhere.
It's gotta be
It's
somewhere.
where the bass stuff.
Yeah, and then those we bought because they were smaller. And they were the first guitar picks we found at Target in 2007.
So back in the days when Target had a musical instrument section,
Right.
and in that musical instrument section was a box of picks, and this is what was in there.
They'll still sell you.
They came in black and white.
I think that's about it.
I have a lot of them. These were actually, I used to really like these. I started out playing the electric guitar with just my Fender Mediums, which is all right. Then I discovered these, and I'm like, oh man, they're thicker. I can dig into the strings. I really like that sound. I like that feel. And it kind of became an addiction from there, as you'll see going up the list.
Yeah.
But man, tone chasing. This is where the thick pick thing started for me. Christian still likes a lot of the thinner ones for acoustic, which you play with acoustic most of the time.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and I've kind of gone the other direction. But we'll get there in a minute. We had to cut there because we talked for way longer than we thought we would.
Yep.
And went over 20 minutes, at which point our camera stops recording. Which we should figure out a way to resolve that issue, but
I think I'm just gonna cut it and do you talking about the pick.
yeah, for now we're just gonna procrastinate it. All right, now for A tier. I know a lot of you are gonna think that this goes in the S tier. However, this is my tier list of picks, and if you want to make your own, go ahead and do that, and just like mention me, because we could use it around here. But my first pick for the A tier is the Dunlop Max Grip Jazz 3. Now, I've never tried a Jazz 1 or a Jazz 2, but I'm assuming they exist.
They are. I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure they're just similar to that anyway. Within as far as design goes.
All right. A lot of the people, Cody uses this now that he ditched this Dava pick.
Yeah, pretty much exclusively.
And actually a lot of guitar players I know, a lot of the best guitar players I know use these Jazz 3s pretty much exclusively. I understand why. I understand why they like it, but for me it's just too small, you know? It's just hard to wield. I understand if you're playing, you know, like super fast runs and everything and it's light and it's pointy.
If
But
you're a shredder, that's the pick for you.
yeah, if you're a shredder.
If you're a chicken picker, that's also the pick for you.
Yeah, but if you're trying to get some of those bluesy rakes in, at least for me, I always hit my finger when I'm trying to do that. Or if you're trying to strum anything, it doesn't really work.
It's a tiny pick.
Yeah. And I understand that, you know, not everyone has this issue, but a lot of people do have this issue.
Yep.
So A tier for me, just because it's not, you know, necessarily the most accessible or the most versatile.
Yeah, I
pick
understand like why people like it, and I like it for certain reasons, but for me, it's not like the ultimate pick.
Yeah. Next up in the A tier is my old favorite acoustic guitar pick, which actually my old favorite electric guitar pick too. I've just had a lot of favorites since then. And my very first guitar pick actually, the Fender Medium. This is an all-around great pick. It's you know, it's got good tone with I like the celluloid finish. We were trying to figure out what to call it earlier. Like it's tortoiseshell, but it's not actually tortoiseshell because they stopped doing that a while ago. You know.
Yep.
Otherwise, Fender would have Pete at its doorstep, basically.
Pretty much.
And we don't want that because we want Fender to be making guitars. So we're glad that they've switched to plastic. Plus, it sounds better and it's less brittle, from what I've heard.
Yep.
I know there's some you know, guitar snobs out there that they're like, "No, man, you got to go real vintage tortoiseshell." But
whatever, dude.
yeah, whatever. That's frankly a good answer to most people in the guitar community. Whatever, dude. Calm down. You know, earlier I was gonna put this up in my S tier, the Gator grips from Dunlop. You know, Dunlop makes a lot of great picks. If you're looking for picks, just go there and they probably got what you need. In fact, they even make a pick like the Fender Medium that I have in my guitar right now. Oh, it's right. Oh, it's right here. It's basically a Fender Medium, but it's from Dunlop. It's a little harder than the Fender, but I'm sure they have. You know, I'm sure they have anything you're looking for. But this Dunlop Gator grips, this was my first real thick pick. I'd gone to these because they were thicker than the Fenders, but this 2mm. I really liked this when I first had it. My brother, he got a pack of these and they were a little pricey, but they weren't as pricey as some of the other ones, right?
That's true. It's not as pricey as a Prime Tone, but it's still pricey. It's like almost $1 a pick.
Yeah, almost $1.
You know what else is almost $1 a pick? It's
What?
those stupid picks that we were just talking about earlier. The one that's in the
This?
the C tier or whatever. Or sorry,
The
D
Dava?
tier. Yeah. The
Oh,
Dava.
when you look, okay, he looked those up just now, and I guess these are $1 a pick too. So if you got $1 and you want to buy a pick, don't buy this. Buy this guy. He works for the bass too. Actually, it's great because
it does work pretty well with the bass. I never thought
it's
about
thick and it has little to no give, but it's made of such a material that it slides off your strings really nicely. It's not too slippery, but it's just that right amount of bluesy, you know. What's the
Yeah.
word for that?
I don't know, attack.
Yeah. But when you're playing the bass, it's again not too sharp. It's nice and
It
thumpy.
doesn't have sharp edges. The edges are pretty smooth.
Yeah, the edges are smooth. The material is soft. You're not gonna drop it, but it's not particularly grippy either. It's all around a great electric pick, but there are better.
It's a nice pick. It's just not the greatest.
Yeah, so that's why it's an A tier. I think that's probably it for A tier because I like to be generous and put a lot of things in the S tier.
No, a couple things.
Yeah, well, we got 4 here.
Okay, yeah.
The first one being, and again, Tortex, but besides the celluloid, this is my favorite acoustic pick material. If they made a celluloid like this, that would be it. That'd be my dude. But they don't. So I've got, or maybe they do. I haven't found one.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the Dunlop's big old tortoise. I don't think that's what it's called, but it should be.
It's the pick for people with big hands.
Yeah, big hand people. If you're like me, and this is my ranking.
Okay, so they just saw how you hold it. Now let me
Yeah.
hold that.
All right.
Like it just
it does look kind of big in your hand, a little unwieldy.
yeah, it's like a Cheez-It.
Yeah.
It's bigger than a Cheez-It actually, probably.
But it's really nice if you've got bigger hands, or even if you're, a beginner and you got trouble keeping a grip on the pick. Plus, it's got 3 sides, so if you wear one down, or if you accidentally spin it around, you can just spin it a little bit more. It's a fidget spinner, fully functional, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what side you see. Just pick up the pick, and you got a corner, and
yeah. Plus, it works as a ninja star. Man, this thing's just great.
Dude, yeah.
No, for real, Joe, the rhythm guitar player at our church and the singer, the worship leader, really. Well, yeah, he's paid to be the worship leader. He uses these now. I don't know what he used to use, but there's so many of these all over the church. They're on the floor. They're on the amps. They're in the
they're
walls.
everywhere. That's why we have one.
You shake the seal and they fall down.
Yep, exactly. I mean, holy cow.
They're great though.
But if you're a big dude, that's probably
yeah. Oh, he's a big dude. Like, you think my hands are big? His hands make my hands look like a child.
It's like Goliath, dude. Anyway.
Yep. The next up for S tier, and this is actually switched around. I think earlier when I was planning this, I had put the Gator grips up here, but I've since come around on these gravity picks, and these are a story, because this isn't like a big brand. First of all, just to tell you about them, they're really hard, and you can get them. They're commercially available. It's not like a Taylor pick, but it's really hard. It's really smooth, but it's not that heavy. It's just thick and hard, I guess. But it's nice for the electric. You can get some really bright tones out of it, which is why it goes in the S tier.
I mean, it's the outside is gloss, but there's kind of a grip to it where the logo is.
Yeah,
and
so
then
along the edges
too. The sides are actually, like, they kind of have a sharpness to them. They're not like, it's not like the coin, but you can get a similar sound to it because the sides are pointed like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can get, kind of if you turn it on its side, you get a real, like, bite to it. But at the same time, it's big enough where you can strum with it, even though it's real thick. And it's still really good with lead lines, and it has great tone, just like the coin. Because, I mean, the pick itself is smooth. It's just the edge that's kind of sharp.
Yeah. It's not always in fact, for me, it's not usually the tone I'm going for. I'm usually going for something warmer, like I get with this Gator grip. Something warmer and bluesier. But this is really nice for those great, bright, sharp, attacky tones. And I actually use this in the video, I think, for the solo to Let It Happen by Switchfoot.
Which is a great video, and you should go watch it.
Yes, you should.
Yep.
If you want to learn that solo, it's the best video out there. It's also the only video out there.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yep.
The story on the gravity picks, though, actually, I had never heard of them until we went to NAMM and we were at the booth, which I feel like a bad person for not remembering the name of the company. It was right across from JHS Pedals.
Warmouth?
And Warmouth? No.
No?
No.
Is that a pedal company or is that just a place?
No. That's a guitar company, but I can't remember what it's for.
Okay.
And the people on YouTube are probably about to flame us in the comments. That's okay. If you remember what it is, leave it in the comments below, and people who are wondering can search for it.
Well, only people who've been to NAMM would know that.
Warmouth?
Oh, no. I thought you were talking about people
Warmouth,
who know what booth this
Warmouth
is.
is the company that makes, like, necks and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They got a turtle as their mascot, too.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
have
turtles in
Warmouth
this industry.
Neck. No, I don't think that's a Warmouth neck now that I'm thinking. Just kidding. But that's what Warmouth is. Anyway.
All right.
So, I think it was the company that made the King of Tone. And so their owner was there. And we were playing this. That was the first time I'd ever played the King of Tone, actually, was when I was at that booth. And the pedals sounded great, but we just, like, picked up the picks from the Bully editor, and we're like, holy cow, these are amazing. He's like, what are these? And the dude was telling us that some guy he knows makes those by hand, and they're like $5 a pick. So on our way out, Cody and I both, like, while he wasn't looking, grabbed like a handful out of his bowl. So yeah, I mean, those picks are phenomenal. $5 a pick, holy cow. I mean, it's probably the most expensive pick on the list too. So
it is the most expensive pick we have here, yeah.
But it's well made. If you want to pick, as long as you're not going to lose them, it's probably worth the $5 to buy one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're going to get one of these, you might want to like have it on a wrist strap. But
yeah.
But yeah, if you want some real bright tones, this is your guy. And really this S tier is just going to boil down into the best picks for various things, at least according to me.
Yep.
You know, it's not like these are the best picks overall. This is, you know, a range because different things require different picks. Yeah, true. I'm a thick pick guy. If you're not, feel free to tell me about it, and we can have that discussion.
Well, we discussed what I like about the thin picks earlier, so I think everybody's getting what they're after.
They're all placated.
Anyway, now the China pick.
Ah, yes. Speaking again of NAMM, to which I didn't go, but I've heard a lot about it. By the way, was that Wampler
What?
that makes the King of Tone?
Wampler?
Yeah, that's a company.
Even if it was, I would have no idea.
Alright. Worth a shot.
I just know we're in Warmouth.
Alright, speaking again of NAMM, Alice is this Chinese guitar company. I don't know if they make actual guitars, but they make guitar accessories.
No, they don't make guitars. They make all kinds of... You go on eBay and you buy no-name brand guitar accessories, they're probably that company.
Yeah, it doesn't even say the name Alice on the listing, but when you buy the stuff, it usually comes in it has a box that says Alice. You're like, oh, I guess that's who this is. But they're the first people you see when you walk into NAMM on the lower level.
Oh yeah, no, like right behind Tonewood Amp is Alice guitar picks. Well, guitar accessories and stuff.
Yeah.
This lady didn't even speak English, but she handed me this necklace pick thing, which is actually over here.
Necklace pick thing?
I've never actually used the pick before. Oh, I'm not getting it off there. I've never actually used
yeah,
the
it's
pick
kind of buried.
Before, but yeah.
Yeah. But these picks were an unexpected find. They were I think like 53 cents for a pack of 6 on AliExpress. They're 2mm. They're like transparent with colorful plastic, and they got this divot in the middle that you can hold on to. But these are amazing. They got a pointy tip that you can get in to play really fast notes. I use this when I'm trying to play things on guitar that were originally meant for piano. So like really fast piano runs. They're a warm tone, but they can also do bright stuff if you hit it right with the tip. Really, it's just a great all-around pick. If you're gonna have one electric guitar pick that's thick, and you don't want to spend a lot of money, this is definitely your guy.
Yeah, I really like that, and I think it's really cool too that in the S tier, that legitimately, like of our picks, the cheapest pick on there. Well, maybe not probably the cheapest pick on there, and the most expensive pick.
Yeah.
Are in the same category, and quite frankly, I use both of them probably evenly.
Yeah. Because, I mean, really, in terms of most guitar things, it's not about the price. It's about... Well, it's about the sound you're going for, and it's about what you end up buying to get there. I guess, I don't know. Like this Fender Thin pick you pay money for. Right? This Taylor pick you do not pay money for, but the Taylor pick I still like better than the Fender Thin.
Yep.
And so... It's really just about finding the right thing that you like, that gives you the best sound. Speaking of, the best sound, I think, this is the pick, at least the one I used to use most often. I lost it for a while, and that made me sad, but I found it again since, is this Dunlop Prime Tone. This is not the most expensive pick here, but it's the second most expensive. These Gravities are like $5 a pick. These are like $1 a pick for the Gator Grips. This was, I think, about $3 per pick for the Dunlop Prime Tones. I got the 1.4mm, so it's not quite as thick, but it's really hard, and the material it's made out of is, I don't know what it is. It doesn't say, but it's fantastic. It gives you those really warm tones, and it's got a beveled edge, so you're not going to get any really harsh sounds unless you... I don't even think you could catch it just wrong on the string.
It's almost comparable to a blue chip.
A blue chip?
Yeah. That's another NAMM story. The guy at Breedlove, the guy at the Breedlove booth had, I had never even heard of Blue Chip before, but he pulled out this pick. We were playing this Redwood guitar, and we were literally playing, we were playing the guitar with Strymon picks. And he was like, oh, try this pick, it's like $50. And it was made out of like wood or something. And it might not have even been. But the tone... When I heard it for the first time and I played it, I was like, this is like almost exactly like a Prime Tone.
Yeah, it's crazy because I really like these. And I might be wrong about this, but I think this is one of John Mayer's picks that he uses as well. Because I've seen videos of him. If you watch the Silver Sky, like the Behind the Silver Sky with John Mayer video that Guitar Center put out recently, which you should, it's a lot of great advice. on guitar in general. It's not like a lesson or anything, but it's good playing advice. You see him and he's playing and like pull out this pick that I'm pretty sure it's this exact type of pick, and then he'll tuck it away in his computers and he does this finger style thing, and then he pulls it out like a wizard. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
It's like it just magically appears in his fingers, but I think this is the one that he uses. And you can slap the strings around with it, and you don't get any bad sounds. It's just hard to screw up, and it's big. You can't drop it. I like it. Primetone is the S tier.
Yep.
So this has been our guitar picks tier list. I think it is pretty good. If you wholeheartedly disagree with me, feel free to make your own video or let me know down in the comments. If you liked this video or any of the other videos on the channel, feel free to subscribe. It's not all gonna be like this. This is a rarer thing.
This is a very long. I never thought I could talk about picks for this long.
Oh yeah, dude, I know. Well, anything that you think is not gonna take a long time, if it's about guitars, it's gonna take a long time. You're like, man, I didn't know I could talk about Taylor coasters for a long time. That's a story
for another time.
Yeah, we'll get into these later. We'll just call it the desk sessions.
Yes.
Coming soon to desk sessions as well. Capos. Which one's the best?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. We got some candidates for you. But yeah, thank you for joining on this very long meme of a journey.
Yep.
All right. See you guys later.
In the next one.